In February 2004, a 19-year-old college dropout-to-be sat alone in a messy dorm room and typed something that would one day connect over 3 billion human beings. He wasn't trying to build the biggest company on Earth. He was trying to meet girls, rank his classmates, and maybe get revenge on a few people who annoyed him. That website almost got him expelled. Today, it's called Facebook. And the story of how it went from a dorm room prank to a global empire is stranger, and darker, than most people know. Welcome back to Tech Origin Stories, the channel where we dig into how the platforms you use every single day actually began. If you love finding out the real story behind the apps on your phone, hit subscribe now, because next week we're covering another giant, and you won't want to miss it. Now, back to Harvard, 2003. Our main character is Mark Zuckerberg, a computer science student at Harvard University. In October 2003, he was upset after a breakup, and in one late-night coding session, he built something called Facemash. Facemash hacked into Harvard's private student photo directories, pulled pictures of female students without their permission, and let other students vote on who was more attractive. It was crude, and it was a privacy violation. Within hours, the site got so much traffic it crashed Harvard servers. The university shut it down and brought Zuckerberg in front of the disciplinary board. He avoided expulsion, but the incident revealed exactly what he was good at, building things that spread fast, whether or not they should. 4 months later, on February 4, 2004, Zuckerberg launched a new website from that same dorm room. He called it The Facebook, a digital version of the printed student directories, or Facebooks, that American universities used to hand out. It was simple: a profile picture, your name, your classes, your relationship status. Only Harvard students with a harvard.edu email address could join. But that exclusivity made it feel special, and it spread through the campus almost overnight. Within 24 hours, over 1,000 students had signed up. Within a month, half of Harvard's undergraduates had an account. But Zuckerberg wasn't working alone in the story he's told, and here's where things get controversial. 3 Harvard seniors, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss along with Divya Narendra, claimed they had hired Zuckerberg weeks earlier to help build a similar site called Harvard Connection. They accused him of stealing their idea and stalling their project while secretly building his own. Zuckerberg denied wrongdoing, but the dispute turned into a legal battle that dragged on for years, and was later settled for a reported $65 million in cash and stock. This dispute would later inspire the 2010 film, The Social Network. But at the time, in early 2004, none of that mattered yet, because the site was already spreading far beyond Harvard. By late spring 2004, the Facebook expanded to Columbia, Stanford, and Yale. By the end of the year, it was live at over 200 universities across the United States. His Harvard classmate Eduardo Saverin became a co-founder and put in the first real money, around $1,000, to keep the servers running. But as the company grew, Saverin was pushed out of leadership in a move that later became another lawsuit. Around this time, Napster co-founder Sean Parker became an advisor and introduced Zuckerberg to angel investor Peter Thiel, who invested $500,000 for a stake in the company. That single investment would eventually be worth billions. In the summer of 2004, Zuckerberg made a decision that shocked his parents. He dropped out of Harvard and moved to Palo Alto, California, the heart of Silicon Valley, to run the company full-time. The team rented a small house that doubled as an office. There was no real business plan yet, just a growing obsession with getting more people connected, faster. In 2005, the company dropped the from the name. It was simply Facebook now. For its first 2 years, Facebook was locked behind school email addresses. Then, in September 2006, Facebook made its biggest move yet. It opened registration to anyone in the world over the age of 13. This was the turning point. Facebook stopped being a college network and became something much bigger, a platform for everyone, everywhere. That same month, Facebook launched the news feed, a constantly updating stream showing what your friends were doing. Today it feels normal. But in 2006, users were furious. They felt watched. Over 700,000 users joined protest groups within days, calling it an invasion of privacy. Zuckerberg apologized publicly and added privacy controls, but he refused to remove the feature. It turned out to be one of the best decisions in the company's history. The news feed is still the core of Facebook today. In 2006, Yahoo offered to buy Facebook for $1 billion. Zuckerberg said no. His own board and executives thought he was making a huge mistake. He believed the company was worth far more than that, and history proved him right. That single decision to stay independent is what allowed Facebook to grow into the company we know today. Quick pause: if you're enjoying this deep dive, tap that like button right now, it genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss the next origin story. Okay, let's keep going, because things are about to get much bigger. By 2010, something dangerous was happening. The world was shifting from desktop computers to smartphones, and Facebook's mobile app was slow, clunky, and unreliable. In May 2012, Facebook went public on the stock market at a valuation of $104 billion, the largest tech IPO in American history at that time. But within months, the stock price crashed nearly 50%, largely because investors panicked over Facebook's weak mobile strategy. Zuckerberg responded aggressively. He restructured the entire company around a mobile-first strategy, rebuilding the app from the ground up. It worked. By 2013, mobile advertising had become Facebook's biggest source of revenue. To stay ahead, Facebook started buying its biggest future rivals before they could become threats. In April 2012, Facebook bought a small 13-person photo-sharing startup called Instagram for $1 billion. At the time, many called it a wildly overpriced deal for an app with no revenue. Today, Instagram alone is estimated to be worth several $100 billion. Then in February 2014, Facebook made an even bigger move, acquiring the messaging app WhatsApp for approximately $19 billion, one of the largest tech acquisitions ever recorded. Later that same year, Facebook also acquired Oculus VR for $2 billion, quietly planting the first seed of what would later become the company's biggest gamble, the metaverse. In March 2018, Facebook was hit with its biggest crisis yet. News broke that a political consulting firm called Cambridge Analytica had improperly harvested the personal data of up to 87 million Facebook users without their consent, using it to build psychological profiles for political ad targeting. The scandal triggered global outrage. Zuckerberg was called to testify in front of the United States Congress and the European Parliament. The hashtag #DeleteFacebook trended worldwide. Facebook stock dropped sharply, and the company was fined $5 billion by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the largest privacy fine in history at that time. Facebook survived, but its reputation never fully recovered. Trust in the platform, especially among younger users, began a slow decline that continues today. In October 2021, facing slowing user growth among teenagers and continued criticism over data and misinformation, Zuckerberg made a dramatic announcement: the parent company was renaming itself from Facebook to Meta. The pitch was bold: build the metaverse, a shared virtual reality world where people would work, socialize, and shop using VR headsets. Facebook the app would now be just one product inside a much bigger company. Billions of dollars poured into this vision through Meta's Reality Labs division. But public adoption stayed far smaller than expected, and by 2023, Zuckerberg pivoted much of that investment towards something else entirely: artificial intelligence. So where does that leave Facebook today? The original Blue app is over 2 decades old now, practically ancient in internet years. Its core users have gotten older, while younger generations move toward Instagram, TikTok, and messaging apps instead. But as part of the wider Meta family, alongside Instagram, WhatsApp, and Threads, it still reaches billions of people every single month, making it one of the most used pieces of software ever built by humans. From a dorm room hack that got its creator called in front of Harvard's disciplinary board, to a company worth over $1 trillion, reshaping how the entire world communicates, Facebook's story is really a story about how far one obsessive idea can travel when it launches at exactly the right moment. That's the real origin story of Facebook. If you learned something new today, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who still doesn't know how any of this actually started. Next time on Tech Origin Stories, we're uncovering the origin story of another platform that changed the internet forever. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.